Well, helping provide insight into the situation in Eastern Europe is Anton Fedyashin. He's a professor of history at American University, specializing in Russian and European history. Anton, welcome to the show. Biden said on Friday that Russia would pay a heavy price if it invades Ukraine. Does the U.S. have the means, the will, the capacity to do so?
Well, it's important to define what the price will be, and it won't be in military terms. And both the United States and NATO have made that abundantly clear. And I imagine that that's more of a signal to the Ukrainians than to the Russians. Neither NATO nor the United States is going to come in on their side in terms of a military engagement. But on the economic side, from that point of view, yes, I think the United States means it. I think it intends to bring the Europeans on board, although to what extent the Europeans will move along in that direction is unclear. But I think the economic angle of the threat should be taken very seriously in Moscow.
Russia doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, but given Ukraine's internationally recognized sovereignty, does Moscow really get a say? And inversely, doesn't a threat to Ukraine ultimately encourage other non-NATO countries like Finland to consider NATO membership?
Well, so look, Finland's not been a member of NATO ever since its inception, and the Finns have never faced a direct threat from the Soviet Union or from Russia. So if anything, Finland proves that an agreement between Moscow and a respective capital will provide security on a mutual basis. No, the Russians, of course, do not, on the one hand, have a say in terms of Ukraine's sovereign decision, but then again, both Ukraine and all the other members of the European Union, as it stands today, signed up to the Helsinki Accords, which clearly stated back in 1975 that no one-state security should come at the expense of another. So we have two equally defensible and legitimate principles that are at loggerheads with each other in conflict, essentially. Ukraine's right to join any organization it desires, and Russia's right to be concerned about that. So I think diplomatically there is a solution if there's the political will to come to one, and it certainly looks like there is from Moscow's angle for now.
Joe Biden has a lot at stake here. In fact, I remember seeing him visit Kiev as vice president when I was there reporting about the Maidan revolution. That saw the ouster, of course, of a Russian-backed president and the election of a Western-backed one. One U.S. military analyst I heard said Washington is holding a royal flush and Moscow has a pair of eights but isn't willing to call Putin's hand. This is really a major foreign policy test for Joe Biden as president.
Well, it is in terms of reputation and rhetoric, but let's be brutally honest about it. Neither Eastern Ukraine nor Ukraine per se is really terribly important to fundamental American strategic interests. Really, nothing that happens in Donbass is a direct threat to American farmers or businessmen or the vital existential national security interests of the United States, which I imagine is why the U.S. has made it abundantly clear to Ukraine that it will not be coming in on the Ukrainians' side militarily. So, but in terms of reputation, yes, this is a test for Biden, and the Democrats really sort of are responsible for creating this situation. For the past 5 years, they've been whipping up a hysteria about Russia and not sort of negotiating with Putin, and now one of their own in the White House has to sort of carry the weight of the Russophobia that's unfortunately enveloped Washington, D.C., and we'll see how he navigates this, but it will be a delicate balance.